Mr. Speaker, we have outlined a number of revenue and expenditure measures in the 2025 budget to support the achievement of our fiscal objectives and targets, and would like to call on this esteemed House, particularly my colleagues, the members of Parliament, to support these measures and the passage of the various legislations that will operationalize the measures as soon as possible. Some initiatives that we have proposed for implementation in this budget are as follows. We are proposing to roll out the 24-hour economy policy to support inclusive growth and job creation. We also propose to roll out the 10 billion Big Push policy beginning this year. Mr. Speaker, we are proposing the establishment of Ghana Gold Board to support the foreign exchange inflows and gold reserve accumulation to benefit our dear country. Speaker, aside, we are proposing the implementation of the Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda. We want to use government procurement to drive made-in-Ghana goods, and particularly to drive local participation in our economy. We have also enhanced social protections through the introduction of various social intervention programs to complement existing programs to alleviate the current economic hardships and also to protect the vulnerable. Mr. Speaker, we are undertaking key structural reforms to support inclusive growth, fiscal and debt sustainability, sound public financial management, and efficient public service delivery and good governance. Right Honourable Speaker, we want to promote fiscal discipline and debt sustainability by amending the Fiscal Responsibility Act to include debt ceiling and the establishment of an independent fiscal council to monitor and adhere to the ceilings. Mr. Speaker, we intend to rationalize VAT and COVID levy later this year after stakeholders' consultation and to receive the TA, technical assistance from the IMF and VAT rationalization task force that will be commissioning in the coming days. Mr. Speaker, aside, we intend to restructure the Bank of Ghana to strengthen its independence and operationalize the efficiency to deliver more for the people of Ghana, particularly in areas of price and exchange rate stability. Beginning this year, we also intend to formalize the export of Ghanaian labor to other countries by introducing measures that will protect the Ghanaian who is working abroad. Right Honourable Speaker, we have also adopted some innovative approach to address some of our long-standing problems, and this include the reduction of the tax refund ceiling to close the gap for the elimination of some of the taxes that we have introduced. Mr. Speaker, we are uncapping the National Health Insurance, the Ghana Education Trust Fund, and the Road Fund to fund critical government expenditures and additional priorities, including providing sustainable sources of funding for the free secondary education and free tertiary education for persons with disability. We are also proposing to the House that ABFA be allocated largely for infrastructure and big push infrastructure instead of rather spreading it so thinly to cover some expenditures that are not desirable. Mr. Speaker, we are also placing a limit on project loan disbursement for both bilateral and multilateral loans beginning this year. We are therefore calling on this House to support us once again, as we have done in the past to various finance ministers.
Honourable members, as I've already said, the technical nature of budgetary processes necessitates regular training programs that are tailored to enhance and increase our analytical skills, improve our ability to detect inefficiencies, and strengthen our oversight functions. So, for instance, the Minister of Finance tells us there's 1.5 billion for agriculture. If you look at the expenditure column, you realize that some 900 million plus has been allocated. So if you pay attention, these are some of the things you discover, and then you make a meaningful impact in your debate by drawing the attention of the finance minister that you can't say 1.5 billion and allocate 924 million, and even that a chunk of it is compensation. So your own agri policy. What are you doing? And then you'll be able to talk about school feeding has in excess of 2 billion and other critical areas have lesser amount. So if you're a member of that committee, you will now make a case, and I'm sure the finance minister will take that on board. Without more, colleagues, let me urge all of you, especially those of you who are first-termers, don't see this as a boring process.
The idea behind this workshop is to enable us understand the budget, understand the policy statements contained in them, understand the figures and the implications of the figures for our constituents, for the market women, for the Okada riders, for the teachers, for the students, for all those that we represent here. That's the whole idea behind this workshop, because we're all not economists and we're all not finance experts. So experts in the various fields have been assembled to help us understand the policy documents and also to understand the figures behind these policy documents. When all is done, we expect the majority to relate these figures to the promises and the commitments that we made to Ghanaians, based on which we're given this overwhelming majority that we have. The agenda to reset Ghana and how this policy document and the figures proposed will help advance that agenda to transform the country. For the minority, Osono and Ketekete, we expect you to also be very critical of the document and to see how the lapses, the weaknesses, and to expose them so that as a country we can be well guided when we consider the approval of the document.